That's an insurance agency from St. Martin's. You have your property and liability insurance and your workers' compensation. And you should all have a copy of our renewal proposal. I wanted to make sure that you were aware our insurance renewal is coming out January 1st, 2019. Our renewal premium this year is $35,491. That's an increase over last year of $4,049. The increase is due to some exposure changes and then also a rate increase based on our loss experience. I have attached the property and vehicle schedules, contractors' equipment, and also there's the liability section, so it breaks down the premium, how much each portion is costing. They do not offer payment plans. It is paid in full for the year. I did contact an outside financing company to see if they would offer.
One second. Did anyone, is there one floating around the ground? Does anyone want to see this? This is our proposal that was sent for us. If anyone wants to see, you're welcome to come get my copy.
I did get in contact with the finance company, IPFS. They said that they would look at offering payments, that they would require an irrevocable letter of credit from the bank. And that is also included in that proposal.
Thank you. We'll put together here.
Ask questions or
You'll have to go through online because this is announcements only, but
okay.
thank you for letting us know.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, other announcements. There will be a public American Water Workshop on November 20th, 2018 at 7 p.m. here at City Hall. And so we start on a good note. I'll let everyone know that the city's working hard and good things are happening. So let's keep up the good work and everything's going to be all right. With that being said, call to order and roll call.
Mike Brown.
Present.
Eddie Tilges.
Present.
Donna Fleming. Present. Brett Swanson.
Present.
Marlene Blackburn. Present. Barbara Thomas. Quorum.
Okay, thank you. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there anyone that would like to offer an invocation at this time? Here are the answers to the negative. We'll see you on the meeting. First is to adopt the agenda. If you have a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion to amend the agenda.
Okay.
The motion is to add lights, city lights to the agenda.
I also need to
Okay. We've already motion on the table. Okay, it's been seconded. Can you read back the motion, please? And roll call vote.
Brett Swanson wants to adopt the agenda to include city lights.
Amend the agenda to include city lights.
Amend the agenda, sorry,
Okay.
to include city lights. Donna Fleming seconded the motion.
And roll call vote.
Eddie Tilges. Present. Yes. Donna Fleming. Yes. Brett Swanson.
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn. Yes. Barbara. Motion carries. Motion carries.
Okay. And we keep the static side chatter down, please. Marlene, go ahead.
Yeah, I would also like to amend the agenda to include, and pardon me if I'm, it's just kind of shaky ground for me, because I don't know where it is exactly.
Okay.
For to amend. I would like to move to amend the agenda to include discussion and vote to amend the retainer agreement with City Attorney Jeff Thomas for legal services.
Okay.
Sure, I'll just pass it on down to you.
Marlene, that would be a closed session item.
Well, that's why I didn't know, because it wasn't actually
So
discussing
maybe
dollar
add
amounts or anything like that.
Contracts
This
to the
contract.
closed session.
Pardon?
A motion to amend the agenda to add contracts to the closed session would probably be the correct way to go about it.
Okay.
You want to restate are you still making the motion, to make that motion?
Yeah, but also,
Okay.
I'm trying to write it down.
Oh, no issues, go ahead, take time.
To be included in closed session. Okay. I'll revise that. Move. I'm moving to amend the agenda to include in closed session discussion and vote to amend the retainer agreement with City Attorney Jeff Thomas for legal services.
Okay. Can you read back to the...
Okay, Marlene Blackburn need a motion to amend the agenda to include in closed session on contracts, the discussion and vote for Jeff Thomas's legal services. Donna Fleming, secretary.
Roll call vote.
Debbie Tilges?
Yes.
Donna Fleming?
Yes.
Brett Swanson?
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Can we get a motion to adopt the agenda overall?
I second that motion.
There's a motion to adopt the agenda, and it's in the second, roll call vote.
Debbie Tilges?
Yes.
Donna Fleming? Yes. Brett Swanson?
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Who's the fifth person voting?
Sorry, 4-0.
All right, so first is... All right, so first we have the minutes here in front of us.
I don't know if you have time to look these over, we just got them. And so I would like to kind of do this at the next meeting, since we have another chance to look at it. I can't go through everybody's yes and no, what we go through, like you.
Okay, sorry.
I'd like to make a motion to review this at the next regular meeting,
So you're making a motion to table the minutes at the last meeting?
to table these minutes until the next meeting, the next regular meeting.
And second,
Motion was made by Eddie Tilges to table the minutes until the next regular meeting. Donna Fleming seconded it. Eddie Tilges? Yes. Donna Fleming? Yes. Brett Swanson?
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn? Yes. Motion carried 4-0.
Okay, so we'll go with the adding city lights first. This should be a discussion topic only, not a voting topic. So with the city lights, Director Weinberg.
So the plan is to go and get with Gas and Sage. I've spoken with a handful of city residents, kind of float the idea. Went through the books this week and trying to see where we can save a little bit of money for the city. Currently, the city is paying $6,000 a month for streetlights. This is including ones that are on certain personal residences on the property. The plan is to curtail during winter months some of our costs on that by getting with Gas Agency if it is an option to shutting off city lights that are duplicated in some areas or that aren't on street corners and are not surrounding schools and parks. Basically, stretchable 50%, realistically might be in the range of 35 or 50%, but we could be looking at cost savings of $3,000, so just exploring that opportunity.
I would say there's no issues with you looking at this at all, and we will add it to the agenda next time we go over this.
I just had a comment. I drove around Morton Street the other night and checked out what we're talking about. And there are a lot of lights that really don't really need to be there. I mean, I think we should definitely look into this. You mentioned the schools. Who pays for the school lighting?
Not the school lighting itself. I'm talking about the ones that may be on the opposite side of the school.
You're talking about the yellow night lights?
Yeah, our lights that are on the side of the school. With the winter months, with it still being dark, with some kids on the bus and stuff like that, and some after school activity, I'd really like to refrain from getting any lights that are around the high school and middle school. Just
driving around the other night, again, I don't know anything about who pays for lights as far as the school goes, but there was at least 15 lights around the elementary school at night. Why do you need that much?
That's a good question. There's a comment from Chuck. Go ahead.
You mentioned $6,000 for streetlights, but in the last meeting, Carmen said if we pay $7,500 a month, we're going to get caught up on our past bill pretty quickly. Is our electric bill that high? I mean, just for streetlights, I'm confused.
That's 6,000 overall, 17.
No.
Streetlights on the bottom line there.
They're showing me. So I was misreading that line item. Oh, that's, okay.
It's still 17 though.
So, yeah, my error. So we're looking at 5,122 is what we are in arrears on that, or we're back paid on that. So we're looking at 1,700 on that, where we're looking at additional lights that we're paying for. So it's just to explore with Gas to save what we can cut back.
I think it's great. I'll put it on the next agenda. Please go up and explore that option.
Mike, I also believe that in the past, we have had this kind of the same discussion with the electric company, like in May or June maybe, about cutting back in certain areas, but we didn't pursue it.
That is true. There was not, at that point, there wasn't a lot of interest in the matter, but it appears that this is resurfacing, and I think that Mr. Swanson has a lot of experience, and he might be able to approach this from an angle that we didn't see perhaps at that time. So I think this would be great for us to engage. Yes.
I mean, if you're gonna cut the lighting down in certain places, that's gonna be, you're gonna have to increase patrols in those areas. You know, I don't know what lights you're rolling out, what your spots are, but I'm just saying, if you take out several lights and it's gonna make that area dark, we're gonna have to increase patrols in that area.
I remember somebody made the comment, I can't remember who it was, possibly having, like for instance, I went down one street and there was a light every, so many yards or whatever, and then on some, there was one at the bottom and one at the top, like on my street, actually. But the fact of the matter is, if somebody's gonna steal or do drugs or whatever, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is.
Right. Understood.
I do have a concern about it because I have extra lighting all around my house and my salon. We do have a huge drug problem in this town, and I think the more lighting the better. But it doesn't hurt to look into it.
The thought process and what got me started on this was the fact that, so on my street, I live on East 6th Street, right over by the middle school. When I moved here to Dixon, we had one street light and it was on the top of the street that, High Street, and it was on the intersection. It illuminated the entire street that I was on. Now we have a second light there and a third light, and it's overbearing with light pollution. That single light is enough to illuminate down there. And to speak on the crime problem, I don't know that it's necessarily a large deterrent, considering I was hanging Christmas lights up 2 or 3 years ago, and my neighbor's house got broken into by a girl. So it didn't really stop them from going in, and that was at noon.
So a lot of good points. We'll stop this discussion at this point, but we'll explore this. And at the next meeting, we'll have this on as an agenda item. At that point, we can delve into this further. But great
It's nice to
points
discuss things
Great
before
points.
we vote on them.
made by everybody, and we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Abolish elected officials pay discussion. Is it about elected officials pay discussion?
I just had a question. You said the lights, city lights for 5,000-6,000?
Is what we owe on that, and that's
Oh,
the statement.
not what the percentage of, how do I say this, out of the total electrical bill, what percentage
So
is street lights?
we'll get into this in more detail later. I'm going to stop this down. We're
Okay.
going to drive on the agenda. So abolishing elected officials pay discussion. Would any alder person like to start with that?
I'm not quiet.
The idea behind this would be that as the elected officials would give up their pay would go to zero. It's been asked that the city's under a lot of financial strain. So if we as elected officials, we need to give, I think, give what we can to.
Wasn't there some kind of conversation in the past that some are, maybe giving that up and like making bar prices?
So what happens is if tonight the council says, yes, we think this is something we should pursue, there would need to be a vote that says, yes, we want to look into this, or we want there to be an ordinance about this. And then the ordinance, if it was approved, would go into effect. And it doesn't take place immediately, it takes place upon when elected officials finish their term. So all those that are finishing their terms this time their pay would end in April. Those, and there's just two, yourself and Marvin, who would continue on, it would be when you end your term. And at that point, the next,
What prevents an individual council member from refusing to pay?
it's basically a law that has to be written. We have to
Straight
write
across
it.
the board, such a.
It would be a straight across the board. So
I don't have a problem.
if it's an ordinance, it's an ordinance on everybody.
Maybe it says something about what she wanted.
Yes, mine goes to a good cause. It has always and will continue as long as I receive a check. And it's really nobody's business how I use it, except that I do put it on my son's, where my son is buried. There are a lot of people that do not have families, and this goes towards the families that do not have anyone to keep their plots up. And so this helps a lot to associate church. And I will continue to, not that I don't give more money myself, that's not what I'm saying, but that check goes to the cemetery.
If the council did choose to pursue this, then it would just be to start working on the ordinance first. So it wouldn't abolish it tonight. It would be starting that process, and then there would have to be an ordinance approved. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Are we talking everybody? Myself, the marshal, and all of you?
That's the point of discussion for the council. So
Say
I
again?
think it's up to the council.
I'm lost. It's up to the council to decide.
If the judge was paid.
Yeah, there's an ordinance, they changed the ordinance. I think,
I think he's wanting clarification. It's,
All elected officials are just the city council.
we're talking city council here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But it says elected official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's everybody, then, I mean, if that's something the council wants to consider. It's up here for discussion.
could it be specified for council members only? And I think the
Yes.
easiest way to, and I don't think there will ever be an agreement on it, but I personally would not be opposed to having it be something that we try to get on the ballot.
You don't have to do a ballot, it's just.
No, but I'm saying that's, you're not gonna get this isn't gonna go through. We're never gonna have an agreement on this with the council members. But I'm not opposed to letting the citizens decide what the council members pay is or if we get paid, if it's a paid position.
It's up to the council.
Then I would say that there's probably a motion to move on from this topic.
Table it, is that what you're saying?
Well, and another thing.
Are we gonna be able to discuss this at a later date?
Yes,
Even an option?
if the council decided tonight, all that we can do next would be make the ordinance and then discuss.
We're not supposed to do anything for the next council. So, think about that one. It's been brought up before about other things. How can we do this for the next council?
Pay is set by ordinance. And with the financial situation of the city, I think the council highly needs to consider dollar payments.
Well, it's almost zero now, so our pay is
Yes,
only
go ahead.
$92.
I think once again, you have to make a decision on what kind of salaries you're going to state for the alderman and the mayor. And you're definitely going to have that done before the last day that someone signs up to run for the office. In my opinion, they have to be set by then. It's just like, I would run for the office if it's paying $100. By God, I might do it for $500. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that needs to be set by the time, the end of the period when you sign up to run.
You're right,
And then that's designated. And it's also stated, I mean, there's different places where it's talked about where for an elected official, those salaries are to remain the same for the term of their office. You're not supposed to give more or take less. You could argue that you really can't take away anything from you guys because you're already getting it. There was one guy on the council, I remember years ago, I won't say who it was, but he would get a check and then he would sign his name and give it back to
10
the clerk.
seconds, 10 seconds.
So,
No, keep going, 10 seconds.
so anyway, but I would highly recommend to get that decided by the time, I want to say January 15th, whatever the last day is you sign up, that it should be decided by then, because I think you've had some problems with making those decisions and then something didn't get done by that time. So expectations were different than what actually happened. Does that make any sense?
All right, well, so the elected officials' pay is set by ordinance.
Yes.
If the council votes to change the ordinance, then that's what they vote. It takes effect at the next election. Robert?
I might bring up to the judge's question. The pay for the council members, the mayor, the judge, and the marshal are all under separate ordinances for each one.
That's true.
So you could change the ordinances or repeal them separately.
I mean, I know that the council doesn't make a lot, but if you want,
I make a motion.
okay? There's a
I'll
motion,
second the
there's a
motion.
motion to table the elected officials' pay. It's been seconded. Roll call vote.
Jenny Tegis,
Yes.
Donna Fleming,
Yes.
Brett Swenson,
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn,
Yes.
motion carried 4-0.
All right, next on the agenda is the marshal's COLA. The council can set or take away the COLA. This is something that the council did a while ago because pay is for marshals very, very low. I was asked to put this on the agenda, so it's here as a discussion item.
So the pushback that I received from concerned citizens is that that was never their view on it as an elected official. You ran and were elected, took that job when it was. So they have an opposition to knowing that we're in this financial situation and paying the extra funds. So I feel in my very, very short time in this position, that it's, I mean, I don't work for myself, I work for the people I represent. So I personally, unless anyone's got more to say, will make a motion to terminate the COLA.
I make a motion now, or you making a motion now?
I'm making a motion now.
Okay.
I'll second the
So-
motion.
So please clarify your motion. I make a motion to,
I make a motion to terminate payment of COLA to the marshal.
there's no other discussion. Because it does drop it to very, very low. And seconded, roll call vote.
Betty Tilges?
Yes.
Donna Fleming?
Yes.
Fred Swanson?
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn?
Yes.
Motion carried 4-0.
Okay. Next item on the list is the jail contract. Currently, we maintain people on our inmates. It's kind of a variable contract. It, at will, people can bring prisoners to be maintained or taken away. The jail is, the council should look at either changing the contracts to a fixed price contract and at whatever the going rate is, which I think is $55 a day, or abolishing it because the current income for the jail is just not quite enough.
What is the current income?
It's about $4,000 a month, 4 to 5.
What's our cost on it? Do we have that number?
Food is about half, about 2,500.
$1,000 a month.
So food is $1,000 a month. Electricity, heating, insurance.
We have receipts, now all expenditures.
Yeah, we can pull all that. You all want to see that? Okay.
How much the numbers?
Okay. 5 minute recess. You will pull all three. So we are back in session. So here are Sam's close stuff. Pass it back. We'll pass it back.
Just the numbers?
Yes. Here's gas details. And here is Country Mart stuff. This is Country Mart receipts.
So are we not still in new business?
What's that? We're speaking back to the jail contract.
in City Hall. Please.
What was the question?
What was that question? On that question?
Just asking how much we owe, and she's explaining to me here is that half is for City Hall and half was for the jail.
You want to read those numbers off so people are like,
On the half and half, this is City Hall, 1,950.16. And then it's split between the jail.
My only comment is that there's two parties to the contract. No matter what it comes with, I wouldn't expect much pushback from Pulaski County who has a contract and have a before. But, from my, I've read the contract for a while, but I don't think there's any way for us to get money back out of it. I don't, like I said, I don't think we can do much pushback.
so the contract, there's several parties to the contract, and it doesn't appear we can just unilaterally cancel the contract. So there is more to this. That's why it's part of this discussion. The other part that I'll point out here is dispatch. We found out that the county is able to do dispatch for $2,500, is that right?
That was the estimate I got.
A year. A year. Correct.
That's correct.
And that's not county, it's Pulaski County 911.
It's Pulaski,
Separate entity.
it's Pulaski County 911. That's correct. At some point, the city was with Pulaski County 911. If we have a jail, then we have to keep just dispatch. If we choose to change that, we could look at going with Pulaski County 911. It would take about a month to get over there. But
So it was 2,000,
$500 a year.
and we pay some of the dispatchers.
We're paying about $100,000 for dispatch.
$100,000, and we could get this for 2,500.
Correct.
We'll have to work
But-
on maybe some other infrastructure items we have to look at.
Right.
And that's quote is based upon like the other cities around here do, which is Williamsville, Concord, Richmond, unfortunately Richmond, at least it's in Pulaski County, I guess. Based on if somebody answering a non-emergency line, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
So that would be one person.
Also understand it wouldn't be just the 2,500, there'd be added costs. I mean, with software, with radios, we don't have radios, they will talk to comm center, and or repeater.
There would be an equipment investment too. So, and again, this is brought up because here we'll get into,
Does the ambulance district not use the 911?
Yes, they do.
Do they have a repeater system for the radios?
We had to get different radios.
Okay, so the repeater's already available here in the area?
That's their. I'll have to check that,
Well, I think you pay a small fee, I would assume.
Charlie, I think there's different frequencies. So you've got FCC licensing issues.
I don't know. Bottom line is, we don't have any money.
move on.
And if we don't cut this, we're gonna go bankrupt, and then we're not gonna have any employees in it. Really. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
It's not personal,
It's not personal, it's all business.
it's business.
Unfortunately.
Right. We took an oath, that this is what we had to do to get this city up and running.
We're gonna get down here to payroll again, and, I mean, we're to where we've gotta wait another day to make payroll, at least. So, we're running into this time and time again.
And when you all talk about payroll number, you're talking about the cash needed to cover your checks that you send out, not what the true payroll was. And another around are the withholding taxes that are roughly $6,500 to $7,500 every payroll period. So when we have a $30,000 cash need for payroll, our real payroll is about $35,000. And then over and above that, we're going to have a payment going to the feds, roughly $5,000 to $6,000. Along with, we're paying roughly, from what I can calculate, I don't have all the inside numbers, we're paying 6 to 8% to the loggers' retirement fund for the city employees. And everybody deserves a retirement fund. I mean, you know, but that's a number that's never discussed when we talk about payroll, when it's directly.
It's all included in payroll.
Huh?
That 30,000 is all included.
No, I added it up today off of the check register. It was 29,000 and some change net payroll before we paid our taxes, before we paid loggers, before we paid unemployment of a couple $1,000. And Lou was only able to produce 2 941 payments for the last 8 months. And that just totals about $10,000. Well, excuse me, nearly 12,000. This year, 61 and 55. So that's 11,700. My calculation, we should have a payroll of about $780,000 this year overall for a 12-month period, which means we should pay roughly, I had the number, now I can't remember it, $170-some-thousand in 941 deposits. And I've only been able to sunshine law request and receive $11,000 worth of that. And that should be in a file where you reach in and you get it, because I mean, that's like your payment to God.
So Chuck, I appreciate everything you said. I'm just going to stop right there.
Yeah, I understand. I can go on and on.
What you said is important. We do have to look at that. I mean, we're coming to this point again and again. It's not the first time we've discussed probably where the city needs to go. The reason this is on there is because, again, what we make from our utilities is only enough to make payroll, and that doesn't cut it. If you can't afford to operate, we have to start cutting operations. We go in, we work on revenues, they went up a little bit, but it's still not enough. And if the city wants to continue on long term, I mean, we're looking at having to do something. There was, I think, 2 comments, and then we're going to move on. Go ahead.
Just a quick thing, Mr. Mayor. Not even know me, I've been here since 2003. I've been through several city marshals. I'm not going to stand here before you and bash any city marshal as mayor. I will not bash any city council as mayor before you. I will not bash this city council. I will not bash any member, mayor, or any city or staff. Since I've been back full-time in this department's had nothing but integrity, honesty. You know, we're here to work the crime and not the people, and that's what Gary brought here. He didn't bring back the good old voice system of, you know this person, you know this council member, you know this person. That didn't happen. We work the crime and not the people. That's how this is supposed to work. That's what I swore an oath with the state of Missouri and the city of Dixon. I've sat here and watched the city council argue about situations that have no answer. But instead of working on a solution, they table it and move on. The city council has sat here, instead of sitting down with the department and asking, what are your operational needs? They go outside of the department. We have a simple solution. We worry about the police department, not the city. The police department does not know what the operational standards of the maintenance department are or their needs. As well, the maintenance department does not know what the police department needs or operational standards are. How does the city council or an outside agency or county commissioner know what the police department needs? You don't.
unless you sit down with that department and say, what do you guys need? Give me a priority list. And has the city council met with each department, sitting in this room, saying, okay guys, what's your Christmas wish list? I mean, I know we've had some conversations, you know, me and Marlene have had some conversations, but we have not sat here as an entity with you, Mr. Mayor, or this council, and you said, Dixon Police Department, what do you need? As far as I know, y'all haven't done that with the maintenance department, but again, that's not my business. My business is the police department, period. I don't worry about what city clerks do, I don't worry about what the maintenance crew does. I worry about what the police department does. That's it. How many of you sitting at this table right here are willing to go out and shout at, get punched, stabbed, assaulted, eventually say none of you? We do it. We don't complain about it. We stand out there at 14-degree temperatures, working reps. That's what we sign on for. There's no need to be a dead horse. You will do what you will do. It's not for me to stand here and judge you or judge any employee of this city. The people that this is going to hurt are the citizens and the children of this town. Think about that before you dismantle this police department. And I don't know if the rest of the council is aware of this, but Chief Brangle and myself have tendered our resignations to the mayor. Thank you.
I'd like to add just a little bit. Gary, I'm going to cut you down like 2 minutes.
Well, we're getting kind of used to it. You just reduced my cost of living allowance, which prior to that, I just want you to know, I made $565 a week. You just reduced me to $363. Okay. My time is worth more than that. There are 280 chiefs of police in this state, and I'm the lowest paid. 6 months ago, you voted to give me that. You all voted to give every employee a $2 raise, which puts my sergeants over my pay by what you just did. This is why I just resigned. I'm tired of being a yo-yo. There was an ordinance to give me a pay raise to $36,000. This council got scared because Plummer was going to get reelected. So let's take that away. Vindictive. It's always up. Don't look at me crazy because it was you that did it. It's always up and it's always down. It's a yo-yo. My people don't have equipment to work with. My people are carrying tasers that the batteries don't work because of day-to-day operations. We can't afford to pay our bills. It's ridiculous. You voted 1 month ago to hire a dispatcher and said advertise in the newspaper. We advertised in the newspaper. We hired a dispatcher. Now I get to send them home. This person quit 2 jobs to come and work for the city of Dixon. You guys should be embarrassed. Flat embarrassed. You think county's going to come and work this? Watch and see. They have 2 cars on duty. Watch and see. It took 48 minutes for them to respond to a fleeing subject the other night in the cemetery. You're going to pay this price. Now, I don't know one of you that would come and be the chief of police for $363 a week. You didn't research it. You just want to throw it out there because some citizen said that it shouldn't happen. $31,000 is my salary. It's $14.90 an hour. My sergeants make $15.80. Is that right? Or do I not have a right to be angry? I've been over backwards for this city. Backwards. But you guys can go answer for the crime now. November 24th is my last day.
Since he was running.
No,
I just need to say one
no,
thing.
it's out of
We have
order.
the right to speak in these
All
meetings.
right, not if not recognized. I don't want to turn this into a
You
circus.
need to read this.
We're moving on. Next thing on the agenda is upgrades to City Hall. There currently will not be any more upgrades for the time being. It's just for information purposes. There's a drive-through that's going to happen that's not now, and a drop-off that's not. Next item on the agenda is the police car. I don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to afford one, but they basically don't have any equipment.
The repair estimate for the blue car is $187,
$187.
just for your future reference.
So for future reference, it's $187 for the repair of the blue car.
To get that functioning.
It is not functioning.
It's not functioning.
But at 187 is it functioning?
Yeah, but before any motions are made, we're gonna get to payroll, and we're gonna tell you all that we haven't made it yet, so hopefully we'll make it tomorrow. So I would suggest not making any motions towards spending anything. Maintenance,
Same old song.
same old song as always. Fire hydrants, they're not, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but fire hydrants they're not set up properly for winter.
No, we got hydrants that's leaking and need to be replaced.
And when it gets too cold, we're looking at hydrants blowing, correct? And at which point, what steps have to be taken if they blow?
Be shutting whole mains off. If they put the hydrants in with shut-off valves, it'd be a big help, but half the hydrants, they got shut-off valves.
All right, and same old song with gravel and de-icer. There
I
is
did
somebody,
get a bid for a tandem of salt, I believe it was $17.50. That'd be right around 16 tons.
$17.50,
Yep,
and that's for both gravel and
that was
de-icer.
just be for the salt.
That would just be for the salt.
$1,750
Yep.
for $1,600 a ton for salt.
So we do have street funds that can only be used for street purposes. Usually they've been untouched to use for the street bond. However, the city does have to weigh the safety into that, and so the street funds could be used for that.
That's de-icer, not rock salt,
Right.
right? I know we've looked at a few other bids and that's come in that's coming really well.
That is low.
That is.
That's the lowest I've got, that's the lowest bid that I've got.
Okay, so we had gravel too. Is gravel something you have to have as well, or that was something that you're using?
We're gonna have to have a feed rock as well.
And did you get a bid for that too?
No, I did not, he ain't got back with me at all.
But we don't have the bids in front of us right now, correct?
No. Mine was just a phone call bid, I didn't get nothing in paper, nothing, just a phone call.
Let's get the bids for that, and so the council can make a decision soon on that stuff.
I already have a second bid on it.
Oh, you do?
I do, so once we get his bid, we'll have at least two bids we can go off of, but what he's got is extremely competitive.
Okay. Would you be able to get that to the office in writing, Josh? And then also a bid for pea gravel, correct? Do you have a bid for pea gravel as well? All right, anything else for maintenance? All right, budget and bills, the only thing under here, right now, we've got to wait until we have enough money to make payroll. There's nothing else to do. But the dog pound does need its own account. Anyone wants to make a motion to make a dog pound account?
I have a motion. Make the dog count.
Oh, we can have one.
Wow.
So, the amount in the streets fund is $44,378. Bond payment's about $80,000. Bond payment's about $80,000.
wasn't city.
I'll make a motion to open a dog pound account, only with a dog pound.
And I said,
Okay, and this is the account, just to clarify before one of those motions, this account will hold the donations that are being given for that, correct?
Anything that should go to the dog pound, yes.
Okay, so the donations,
Donations, whatever.
well, that's all there is one dog pound donations
except for the license.
and the licenses. Okay, so read back the motion.
Benny Till just made a motion to open an account just for the dog pound for all donations and licenses. Don Fleming seconded it.
Okay,
Benny Till just,
roll call.
Yes.
Don Fleming, yes. Brett Swanson,
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn, yes. Motion carried 4-0.
All right, the next item is payroll, but I've already let you all know. Signature cards, there was some conversation about they wanted. Do we need to change any of the signature cards?
Yes. Yes, the city clerk should be on all signature cards.
They don't have to be.
Maybe it's
Anybody.
part of that,
Anybody.
or
For the bank accounts. It can be anybody on the council.
It's supposed to be the mayor, the pro tem, and the clerk,
It doesn't have to be.
but it has to be for the city clerk.
I don't see where it says it has to be on accounts or signatures. It says the board of aldermen shall elect a clerk for such board to be known as the city clerk, whose duties and term of office shall be fixed by ordinance. Okay. Among other things, the city clerk shall keep a journal of all proceedings of the board of aldermen, so that's minutes. He shall safely and properly keep all records and papers belonging to the city which may be entrusted to his care. He shall be the general accountant of the city. He is hereby empowered to minister oaths of office. It doesn't say that it has to be the signature. It doesn't have to be signature. That's it.
Mr. Mayor, here's some of your words from this meeting. And I was working.
That's okay. If there's nothing else, then at this time we can go into closed session. We just need a vote to go into closed session. Motion. At this time, that's everything on the agenda. So we just need a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
Second motion.
All right, there's a motion to go into closed session. Roll call vote.
Debbie Tillers,
Yes.
Don Fleming,
Yes.
Brett Swanson,
Yes.
Marlene Blackburn,
Yes.
motion carried 4-0.